So yeah, I think we're finally back. No way to be for certain, but yes, that's what happens when you do this live. Sometimes things go sideways. So with any luck, this is going back out to everybody out there. And I think I'm going to send, no, wait, I see numbers appearing in the chat, which is usually a good sign. Now you're back. Yes. Yes, it took a dump on me. Yes, glad you're live. We'll take his attention and anger off the election. Yes, Brother John. Yeah, no, listen, I can't. It's going to be what it's going to be. Going to fight whatever has to be fought with hope and love. That's all I'm going to say about that. Life is like a box of chocolates. Sometimes there's razor blades in it. Yes. The monkey approves of the message. Say hello, monkey.
Shalom.
Well, that wasn't hello.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but that's not my hello. That's somebody else's hello.
You asked me to say hello. I said hello.
Okay.
Shalom.
Okay.
Deal with it.
Yeah, I am dealing with it. What are you trying to say? Huh? I don't know. You give me that look. Uh-oh. It's like a deer caught in headlights.
Hi, Shiya.
Hey, Kathy. Yes, no, we play around like this. This is just part of our dynamic. So, yes, as I was saying before, we miss and love you, too. Go ahead, monkey, do it.
Miss you, love you.
Wow. You just see the look of uncomfortability. It's like, I have to say it in front of everybody. Hey, listen, I used to be like that, too. It's tough. Showing emotion sometimes is difficult. So I reserve it for, specialty situations. Brother Gary, good to see you. Yeah, listen, sometimes things crap out on us. So I was saying that music is magic. It is a form of magic. And it can inspire so many incredibly powerful and beautiful things. It can heal. It can change dynamics of things. And, for me, for many, many years, it has been, my jutsu, as the monkey would say. It's my specialty. So I'm going to clip out to another clip that Shiya got. And again, some incredible stuff. And we'll be back and we'll talk some more in a minute. So those were some incredible guys that we were blessed to meet down there. And they have this dynamic between them where they flow. You know, there's no other way, I think, really to describe it, because these guys, they really were. They were like the fucking wind. You know what I mean? They were just kind of going with it. And this is a natural homegrown. It's an organic dynamic within the New Orleans music scene. And it's been going on for a long time. But to experience it again, which is, again, you know, Shiya, you know, made it a point to capture it as best as she could with, you know, the available tools that she had. And I think she did an incredible job. And, you know, I'm gonna jump to another one in a minute as well, too, because these guys really just were incredible. And being there, you know, this was in many ways, you know, the inspiration for what came later that evening in writing the track that I played earlier, that, you know, Shiya again recorded in the moment while we were sitting outside on our porch / balcony bullshitting with the crows. And, you know, it's magic, you know what I mean, that you can, with this technology, ooh, there's those weird words I'm interchanging again, that you can actually capture dynamics of magic. So if you want proof, well, there's your proof. There's some magic right there. So I'm going to hit you with a little bit more magic. And again, we're going to be right back. So yes, my brother Gary, I am absolutely of the mind music is one of the most potent forms of magic out there, at least within the realm of our understanding, maybe is one way to frame it. Some would disagree, but I'm also emotionally compromised because music is one of my gifts and it's my go-to. Now, a couple things within that little clip that stood out for me and I believe warrants observation and discussion. The first is, again, this incredible live dynamic. These guys are right out there on fucking Royal Street in the middle of the road. Now, the dynamic down there, that this is a 7-day-a-week, fucking 365-day-a-year thing down there in the Quarter, in the French Quarter. So that's how it is. There's always people there. There's always stuff going on, and these groups of guys and women, they're scattered here and there throughout, the French Quarter, and this is what they do. They perform. They perform for tips. They sell their little CDs, some of them, but most of them are just performing for tips. That's what they do and what's kind of been going on for generations. It is an honor. And talking to a lot of them, they feel, blessed to have that aspect, to be able to be part of that history, be part of the culture, not only for the community, but, from, the aspect of everything that's come before musically. So, there are a lot of different dynamics in play besides just obviously, making a living down there. But, again, these guys are doing it. But here's the other thing. We talk about the dynamics. Oh, is magic real? Where's magic? Well, there it is right there happening in front of you. And how many people are just walking on by? Like, I don't understand. Like, for me, I can't. Granted, I'm not going to waste my whole day doing it, and I understand the analogy, but not even to just stop for a second, soak it in, you know what I mean? Like you would smell a flower or any number of analogies. Just fucking indifferent. They're just, whoop, and that's the scene down there. Obviously not everybody's into it, and I'm sure there are people down there, they're a fucking nuisance, and it makes traffic, well, guess what? You guys are going to have traffic anyway, because you've got millions of people living there and millions of people coming in and out on any given moment. So get used to it. That's the way it is in every major city in this country, at least. So yeah, I get it, but I'm not willing to trade off that dynamic for that magic. And it's magic. But here's the other funny thing that you'll notice, and we do this also too, most of us, and it's, obviously reflected in what Shiya do. We capture magic with our cameras and our phones. We capture them in our memory. So you'll see a couple of people stop and they'll take pictures, and, you can't see some of the people on the other side of the street with, Shiya and I and stuff, hanging out and really, enjoying it and appreciating for what it is. But magic's all around us. We just don't want to see it sometimes. Maybe we don't understand it. I talked about it earlier in the podcast before it went, to shit, that a lot of this is conditioned within language. We believe words to be certain things. We're told, well, this is what it is. But it's not. And it doesn't always have to be. We can, by our very nature, change the dynamics of things. We can take aspects and use them sometimes for good and sometimes not for so good. Well, listen, I understand for some of us, especially if your knees hurt, Kathy, that, sometimes we're going to sit still. As a performer, sometimes I like just sitting down and just letting it play out. But I get what you're saying. There's an energy there, you know what I mean? And again, as a performer and having been on the other side, when you have that dynamic, again, it's contagious. It spreads. People, they feed on it, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a positive thing. Now, again, different music will reflect different energies. If you've ever been in a mosh pit at a hardcore show, it's a whole nother fucking thing. All that negative energy and anger and rage, all just focused into whoever gets close to me is gonna get hit. Oh, yeah. That's a hardcore show. That's a different expression. It's still magic. It's just a darker magic. Adasha, my sister, is great to see you. Welcome. So, again, different expressions, different viewpoints, all that jazz. But it's still there. It's real. That's real magic. Again, hokey as it sounds, love, passion. These are real aspects of magic. And we can embrace them. We can carry them for what they are. And my child says, hey, hon. Hey, hon. I don't know where I'm supposed to, is that like a precursor to a witch and a wolf walk into a bar and, or is it hey, hon to Kathy? Is it hey, hon to Hadassah? I don't know. What's going on here? See, this is how, again, a live broadcast can be completely derailed by one witch. That's right, I said it. So, yeah, again, magic is everywhere. Yes, I listen, again, I told you were going to be the target of a lot of this because you were in Texas and I was safe here up north of the wall. No, how can I ignore you? Come on, really? You think I'm going to ignore you? This is how I feel about that, Lady Death. So, yeah, he went there again. Maybe that's what got Sammy off last time. I don't know, but yeah, obviously I don't own the rights to this, but it's out there. We're talking about it in educational context because boys and girls, you need to understand that even in death, you still get to eat the ass. So yeah, public service message. Yes, I went there. So we're going to jump out real quick. I'm going to play another nice piece that Shiya was able to capture while we were down there in the French Quarter. This was from the first group of guys, really, again, charismatic, great players. When I was a kid, I started playing guitar, and I also played trombone. And I played trombone in orchestra for a few years, and I played it well. So, this brother, and I got to tell you, man, I truly, again, appreciate all that you did. He plays a mean trombone. So I'm going to let him speak his magic for himself, and then we'll be back. So yeah, as Hadassah says, nothing like a street jam session. Let me tell you, these guys were powerful. It was a magical moment. It filled me with magic and energy, and I needed it. And, you know, again, this is the beauty, the power, you know what I mean, that magic, especially in the form of music, can do. You can go to it. There's a quote from a movie Cameron Crowe did, Almost Famous, where they talk about how, the music, you can carry it with you, like a friend, you know what I mean? There's a dynamic, that a bond that it can build and sustain through all types of stuff. Music has been written from, every perspective, from sexual lust to, Megadeth's In My Time of Dying, bitch, you left me, now I've killed myself. You know what I mean? And everything in between. And it's not it's not a context of judging one music versus the other. I'll save those rants for, another time. There are dynamic cases to be made across the spectrum, and some of it is generational, some of it is cultural, depending upon who you are, where you are, when you are, certain dynamics will play out. Back in the day, Benny Goodman was God. You know what I mean? And if you've never listened to Dave Brubeck, check him out. He's an old cat, but Take 5, it's a fucking masterpiece. It's an absolute masterpiece. And, this is coming from a guy, and I'll be the first one to admit it. I have listened to music across the spectrum, Frank Zappa to Led Zeppelin, from the Beatles to, Buffalo Springfield, to Frank Sinatra, to Tchaikovsky, to Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, fucking Body Count, Public Enemy, Lionel Richie. You know what I mean? There's so much incredible music. Al Jolson, Smokey Robinson. One of the biggest inspirations on my electric guitar playing, Mr. Jimi Hendrix. All spectrums, all different cultures, all different frameworks, time periods, but magic. Magic, magic, magic. There's magic everywhere. We just, again, have to relearn, if you will, if you don't understand it, if you haven't been able to tap into it. And it's there anytime. Listen, I have gotten it to the point, and I share this freely, you don't even need it in the technological thing. You can carry the magic of music in your mind, just like any other experience, memory, pictures. The cheerleader from 8th grade football practice. Oh, yeah. Memories are powerful, and they're another dynamic that's unique to us, at least as far as we know, but it's there that you can tap into. That's why they make workout videos with, Richard Simmons and, some this, that, or other thing to inspire you. Yeah, Brother Jonathan, he threw out, Van Halen, 0936, Metallica, Hollywood Undead, Korn, Slayer, Beastie Boys, Pink Floyd. Yeah, that's a bit of an eclectic selection. But I agree with all of them. The only one I'm not familiar with is 0936. And I'm not really a Van Halen fan. But hey, listen, I appreciate it. It was actually funny. A guy that I was actually jamming with Sunday, we had a conversation, and during the time period, and this is just one of those little dynamics within musicians. Musicians had kind of circles, if you will, within their influence. And during this time period, there were two main guitar gods, Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads. So, as far as guitar emulation, as far as guitar styles, techniques, all that type of shit, you were kind of either on the Randy Rhoads end of the spectrum or you were on the Van Halen end of the spectrum. I was on the Randy Rhoads end of the spectrum. And it's funny because it was also said, and this was just, kind of a running thing within, the rock communities, or at least the way I remember it, growing up that you were either in the Kiss camp or you were in the Zeppelin amp. So, if you were into Kiss, you weren't really into Zeppelin. And if you were into Zeppelin, supposedly you weren't really into Kiss. I was never really into Kiss. But I loved Zeppelin so much that I had it fucking tattooed on my body and played in a Zeppelin cover band for many years in some of the dingiest, shittiest fucking bars that you could ever imagine for basically nothing but stale beer and, hangovers. But I loved it. I had a lot of great memories. I have a lot of I don't remember memories and a whole bunch of how the fuck did I end up here memories. So is that Led Zeppelin's fault? No. But Led Zeppelin got me through a lot of it. And I can honestly say that I have memories that I have soundtracks to them. And there are Zeppelin tunes that are appropriate for the good, the bad, and the ugly. So that is the power of music. I want to pop this other one because it's a complete different switch to kind of, again, reflect part of what I'm saying. That music takes many different forms, and it does also take, in a lot of ways, a spiritual context. And I'm going to talk more about this when Shiya comes back. So this is just kind of a quick segue. But right there in the French Quarter, there is an old Spanish church. It's a small cathedral, not in the sense of your elaborate Vatican cathedrals, but it's still a beautiful place. And Shiya was drawn to it. Ah, yes. And Shiya caught on to it. So yes, here's a little piece of their community opera group. And then we'll be back again to talk some more and do some more music.
Makes more sense. Drill? Drill? Yes. So if you wait until you heard the word M. Otherwise, you're going to say woman. She didn't say. Okay.
Okay, in that case, we just need a little more context. Well, I'll have it. No, I have it. Yeah. So can we just a little bit more context, and then we can get the timing right. If we start right on the note where it happens, we won't get the timing right. Even just the week would be fine. Thank you. Sorry.
So yeah, that's just a quick little moment again from within that church, which has been there for a long, long time. It is a piece of history, but it's also reflected again of the community down there, and that music is such a huge part of the dynamic. It is in many ways the glue that binds and also in many ways sustains that community. Yeah, I don't know if you actually loaded it up because I didn't find it. So that just means that it's meant to be played another time, my love. It just, hey, not everything has to happen in one night. So those were the things, again, that we pulled. I'll close out a little bit later with some of my own music that, again, has been directly influenced by the dynamics of music from New Orleans, jazz, blues, and to some degrees, those were influenced by aspects of gospel and opera. So Is there correlation between magic and faith? Is that where maybe he's going? I don't know. I believe so. But I also believe that everybody's connection, everybody's path is different. So I try not to begrudge the dynamic, nor do I try to go too far off the beaten path. Though I do go completely sideways, again, if you're a fucking Scientologist, or if you're Father Flanagan fucking the little choir boys again, then I got no compassion for you. I'm not going to hold back. I believe, again, I've said this before, yes, it's time for some more redundancy. Shit needs to be called out for what it is. So if you're a child fucking priest, fuck you. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Scientologist, yeah, you're a bunch of scumbags too. Fuck you. I said it. Okay? If you're trying to come at us with some type of rhetoric bullshit from a context of hate, you want to be a Nazi, fuck you. Okay? Again, gonna call it for what it is. Now, that doesn't mean that just because somebody believes in one thing makes them this, that, or the other thing. AKA, just because you dabble in magic doesn't necessarily make you a witch. And being a witch isn't necessarily a bad thing. Okay? Just because a person goes to church doesn't make them necessarily a good person, doesn't necessarily make them holy. And depending upon what church they go to, doesn't necessarily make them racist either. We have to, I believe, as a whole, find a way back to the middle. And we have to start waking up to the dynamics of why we really are where we're at. Okay? Again, racism and hatred, all these types of things, these are learned behavior. They've been passed down from generation to generation. Many of the dynamics also in play are based off of rhetoric and fear for other agendas, aka politics really has nothing to do with gas prices. This has been going on since we use gas in cars. Okay, guess what? This is what companies do. That's why you have insurance companies. Insurance companies serve no other purpose, basically, as legalized gamblers to take your money on the pretense of, well, maybe you'll get sick, and the doctors we already know are going to rip you off, so maybe we might cover some of it for you. It's a fucking scam, and it's been a scam, okay? There's so many analogies within our culture. Look like this, drink this, ride that, dress like this. It's all bullshit. It's bullshit. They're control mechanisms. They're designed to make people complacent so they don't pay attention to what's actually going on. George Carlin talked a lot about this throughout his years. He made it a core front of his comedy. I feel compelled, being a student of his, that we need to keep those dynamics alive and call the bullshit out for what it is. So, unfortunately, since George isn't here to say it, I'm going to fucking say it for him, okay? And it's not about politics. It's not left or right. It's none of that. It is greed. It is basic human dynamics, the same fuckery that's been going on since the beginning of time. And again, history has proven that this is what happens when the small controlling dynamics, the people, the group, whatever you want to call them, it doesn't matter if it's Egypt, Rome, Nazi Germany, but it'll always translate the same. You have a small group of fucking crazy people basically trying to jam everybody else into this meat grinder for their own greed, okay? And it comes and goes in cycles. And periodically we have to, as a people, as a nation, as a culture, as whatever you want to call it, we have to go through these painful lessons of what democracy really is, what tolerance really is. You know, again, you can teach a parent to recite scripture and it doesn't mean anything. If you're going to run from the word says very clearly in Jesus's own words, was based around love. He threw the money lenders out of the temple. Okay, he hung out with lepers and whores. He died on the fucking cross for everybody's sins, okay? This is the context of where we should be working from, but just like a lot of other things, even religion has been compromised to serve the purposes of petty men and women. Or if you choose to identify as a beaver, then so be it. You know what I mean? I don't want to leave anybody out of the bucket. So if you want to jump on board, please. Tickets are free. But some things we have to call things out for what they are. And again, it isn't just one side or the other. These are the dynamics that have been in play within at least our system. And I'm speaking here from Rochester, New York, in the good old United States. And I love my country. I love America. My family goes all the way back to the fucking beginning, okay? And I'm not talking the beginning owning slaves and stuff like that. I'm talking back in the beginning speaking out against the dynamics of slavery, speaking out the dynamics of religious persecution, fighting in wars, shedding blood, and through many generations, trying to build a better world for the next generation. And again, it's not to point the finger at anybody and say, oh, it's your fucking fault. But if you feel guilty, then maybe you need to go check yourself. It's the same thing that happens when you eat at Taco Bell and you get that wet fart. Sometimes you just got to check yourself. Sometimes you shit yourself, okay? But guess what? You can clean yourself up, put a new pair of pants, and move on with it. You don't have to spread the shit on everyone else. Hello, my sister Ashley Hart. It's great to see you. You arrived at a great time. See, because I can't blame you because you're in Canada. You're Canadian. So it must suck for you sitting up there looking down on us in this country and being like, oh, I hope they don't lose their shit down there. I think a lot of us are wondering about that. So we're going to see. I will say this, however, with obviously what's going on, and again, I purposely avoided for most of the night. No matter what happens, okay, it'll be okay. All right? No matter what happens, it will be okay. If there is any definitive statement about the human condition, it is that we prevail, we survive, we move on, okay? And just like the generations before it, there'll be pain, there'll be struggle, but we do it with hope, we do it with love, because that's what's right. -40, fuck that. Whoa. Girl, you need a new zip code, okay? Sister, tell Brother Larry, y'all got to figure something else out. That is just ridiculous. No. Absolutely. No, 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 no. Good grief, girl. Whoa. God, I got a shiver just looking at that number. That's just, that's Ice Age shit. Anything that doesn't have, like, double-digit negatives. Good grief. No. So, yeah, we love her. That's actually hard for those of you who can't see the chat. Yes, I have random conversations. And it must be great on the podcast. Like, it's like I must be talking to myself. It's like he has a lot of conversations with himself. Some of them are pretty interesting. Some of them are just wacko. Yeah, well, sometimes that's not just on me. Sometimes it's you people out there. And I'm going to blame Brother Jonathan because he just jumped in at the wrong time. Wolf South Park had a song named Blame Canada. Blame Canada For all the shitty things they say and the shitty things they do, blame Canada. Yeah. I don't even know if those are the right lyrics, but they felt right in the moment. Terrence, you pig fucker! So, yes, that happened. Now again, I'm just the messenger here. I didn't write that bit. That was somebody else, and they made it into a movie, and yes, all your children ran out and watched it, and all your children have continued to watch it. So, is that my fault? Because you know what my kid was watching? My kid was watching Monty Python. My kid was watching Ed, Edd and Eddy. And he was watching South Park, too. But he wasn't just watching South Park. I remember the first time I saw that, I laughed. Saddam, stop it. You just love me for my red ass. Real things, people. This is where we're at. Well, what would Brian Bontano do? You know what I mean? That's what I really want to know. See, Jonathan just got me off on a complete fucking side note. So, yeah. But love, okay, no matter what happens. All right? We only have to worry if Satan and Saddam Hussein appear on the dance floor, okay? I'm calling it now, all right? This is my apocalypse prophecy. That the end times will arrive when Satan and his lover, Saddam Hussein, arrive on the dance floor for the final set. So saith the old wolf. Scriptures. Or something. I don't know. Hey, run with it. Make it into a t-shirt. You know what I mean? How about it? Maybe it'll, catch some traction. It'll end up on Facebook. The end times are coming. The end times are coming. Saddam Hussein is back. Where's Bush when you need him? He did too. So, the wolf has spoken. This is true. So yes, back to the music. Music, again, has been a huge part of my life. It is one of the dynamics of the core of my magic. And experiencing these elements in New Orleans, the sounds of New Orleans, really, again, recharged the batteries. It filled my soul, for I had not realized how empty it was. Truly. And I got to experience it and share it with a woman that I love. And it was magical. Magical. I met incredible people. One of those people I hope to have on the podcast soon. A woman who graciously allowed us to stay in her home. And that's where the one track that obviously Shiya caught that I played earlier came from. And the magic, the energy that I was gifted down there will carry into more music and will be part of that next chapter of what not only I do, but my son and Shiya now as part of our family, and maybe even other degrees. You know what I mean? I talked earlier, like any type of production stuff we do, I want my brother Jack, man. That dude is fucking amazing. He's fucking MacGyver. You know what I mean? And if you know who MacGyver is, having one on your team. Oh yeah, yes. That's powerful mojo shit. You know what I mean? Shiya sings, her sister sings, her mother has sung and will sing again. So saith the wolf. There's music all around us. You know what I mean? You can you can hear it in just the wind driving through the leaves, you know, within the framework of birds and insects and animals and even the fucking traffic. You know, it's just, again, how we choose to perceive it, how we apply it, and sometimes, you know, to certain degrees, how we shift and change it. So, you know, again, context being what it is, a lot of different ways to look at it. But one of the songs that was inspired by, we'll call it, you know, New Orleans jazz, but jazz in general, was one of the first songs that I began to track up here in Rochester when, you know, me and the monkey and the scarecrow fled. And it's a piece that I actually do on piano. And it started that way as just a piano piece. Piano is not my go-to instrument, so it was a bit of a struggle. And, you know, I always second guess these things. So yeah, there's probably 1,000 ways the piece could have been done better, and 10,000 other real piano players who could have done the piece a whole lot more fucking justice, but I'm just not that good with it, and there was no way I was going to be able to transcribe and arrange the piece. I write from my heart, I write from my ear, I write from my soul, I write from my mind. And that's why it's so very important to have Shiya around to capture them. Otherwise, they sometimes just go off like a fart in the fucking wind. But be that as it may, this piece started off like that, and then Monkey got involved, and Monkey does bass work on this. And my brother Matt Brown brought some really amazing vocals and a story, if you will, behind the magic. So I'm going to bop into some blue jazz real quick, and then I'll be back to close it out tonight. So yeah, enjoy it. I shall return.
I saw the writing on the wall, a rushed and frantic little scribble, the taste of sweet red and the scent of a cheap cigar. It lingers on her cherry red lips. Slowly the room turns, but we dance away the night. The feelings that I get when I hold you tight. The fever dream becomes reality. Above a chandelier, in the reflection of the glass, 1,000 figures swaying like the leaves in the wind. The touch of your hand in my own, it feels like I'm lost to this world. I can't let go of the electricity between us. They warned me about you, but I don't care. I'm in love with you. Slowly the room turns, the days fly and the nights run away as I hold you tight. This feels like a dream, but the fever dream is a reality. I saw the writing on the wall. It was such a lifetime ago. It was a warning to the world about you, but I didn't listen. These old eyes don't see like they used to see you. You took my life when you took my heart, but I'll never forget you, and the fever dreams remind me of you.
So yeah, that was Blue Jazz. Again, a heavily influenced piece. And again, just kind of a reflective dynamic. And I talk about this, again, a lot. Add it to the ever-growing list of redundant things. But, you know, music translates and is carried forward generationally, culturally, and they influence, just like language is carried forward and, you know, broken down and adapted and repurposed. Music also is, you know what I mean? Some of it obviously is the dynamics within technology. Music used to be, you know, passed on literally within families. If you look at, you know, bluegrass, old time, country music, stuff like that. And also if you look at it within cultic and other nomadic cultures, we see this across the world within Indian tribes. You know, doesn't matter if it's South America or Native American or, you know, the jungles of Taiwan. You know, the dynamics of reed instruments, drums, have been, I guess, at least from a human context, universal. And they reflect the dynamic, the core element of rhythms and tempos and sound variations that, when combined, create, oh, there's that word again, magic. And they were used literally within ritualistic elements, a rain dance. You know, it's not just a bunch of fucking Indians dressed up, you know, just, no. There's an actual framework to it. There is generations, sometimes hundreds, if not thousands of years of culture and just this organic dynamic that is reflective not only of their faith, but of their hopes, their love, their dreams, their anger. So it's powerful stuff. And, you know, not all of it always is going to translate. You know, again, that is reflective of human nature as well. You know, I'm not a huge fan of hardcore gangster rap, but I like other kinds of rap. I love Motown. I like folk music, and I like some country music. Like, I like Johnny Cash, and I like Willie Nelson. But the new country, the twangy, no, I'm sorry, Garth. I'm, you know, I respect you, but just not my cup of tea, man. And just in that aspect, you know, I don't expect Garth to be hanging out and, you know, fucking jamming with, Dave and Kurt. You know what I mean? You know, Metallica, Megadeth is a whole nother strong brewed cup of tea. But back in the day, it was Iron Maiden and, Ozzy Osbourne and Slayer and, you know what I mean? So, and, before that, they were burning Beatles albums and Elvis Presley. And, you know what I mean? During the Depression, Flappers and big band stuff was, the path to hell. And, Mozart definitely had his fucking... It's shit, you know what I mean? And, listen, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And it will continue to go on. As long as we don't blow ourselves the fuck up. But, again, it's a podcast for another time. Music is real. Music is magic. I humbly, if you have the ability, you know what I mean? Again, go to New Orleans. Experience it for yourself. It's fucking amazing. It's an incredibly powerful and beautiful place. A lot of history, a lot of culture, amazing people. You know what I mean? Again, and let me tell you, take some time out for those guys out there performing. You know what I mean? If you got a quarter in your pocket, you got $1 in your pocket, you know what I mean? Throw it to them. Keep the magic alive. Strengthen numbers. We have to. If we don't take care of each other, who the fuck is going to do it? There is the simple truth, okay? There are no magical, fairy tale ding-a-ling. We have to do it. All right? History has proven it. It's shown us time and time and time and time again. We just got to get better at remembering and then putting that into practical application. Okay? There's no room for the stupidity anymore. Okay? Granted, we're going to go through it because too many children trying to drive the car. So, hey, we're going to get banged up a little bit. Hang in there. Remember, no matter what happens, okay, tomorrow morning, don't buy into the bullshit, okay? We're all brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter. Don't get me wrong. I may not like who you voted for, but I'm going to respect you to the degree that we're all still supposed to be in this together. Okay? Granted, if you vote a particular way, yeah, guess what? There's going to be a price to pay. All right, and I think, again, a lot of people are taking for granted what's riding, okay? I'm just saying, for women, the right to choose is pretty fucking important. It's important enough for me to say, guess what? As far as I'm concerned, anybody that's taken a position that's going to get in the way of that or try and manipulate that has no place in politics. I'm sorry. It's not about morality, okay? In the same instance, it says very clearly in our Constitution, separation of church and state. You don't have a right to bring dragging your God into the picture unless you're going to drag everybody's gods, okay? Don't quote and spin shit if you haven't even read the fucking document. Constitution is very clear. But also in the same instance, I don't want to take away people's guns, and I don't see it happening. Okay, so let's not worry about that. The other thing is, who cares who's sucking whose dick, okay? Really. Unless they're trying to suck your dick, fuck it. Let's not worry about it. I think we can all agree that it's probably more important that we make sure that our kids' drinking water doesn't have lead in it. Okay? I'm just saying. Now, that doesn't mean that I want guys pretending to be women hanging out in your daughter's school bathroom. I get it. We have to draw some fucking lines. But also in the same instance, if you want to identify as a cat, so be it. As long as it's done with love and respect for the people around you. That's really all that has to be done. It's not rocket science. Really. You don't have to like it. I don't expect you to pay for it either. Same thing. We shouldn't be subsidizing other people's shit. If we're not going to subsidize everybody, you just can't subsidize some of the people. It pisses other people off. It's fair. That's why they get angry. So yeah, I get it. I don't want to subsidize it either. But that doesn't mean, and again, let's really be honest, nobody wants somebody else telling you what the fuck to do. So if we're just going to keep finding things, guess what? It just spins in chaos. And here's the moral of this story as I close out. They do it on purpose. The people in these huge companies like Exxon and Mobil, characters like Elon Musk and Zuckerberg and all the rest of them, okay? They don't give a fuck about you or me or any of that type of stuff. They're just caught up in this whole matrix alternate reality that it's about the bling and the money and fuck the planet and all this. And again, I'm not saying, let's, throw away, traditions or this or that. But we got to wake up and smell the coffee. Okay? Because guess what, Florida? Keep fucking around the way you are and the ocean's just going to come up and swallow you. We're not going to have to deal with you. Okay? That's why I'm not worried about it. Because at the rate we're going, the ocean's going to do it for us. Okay? We got to wake up. We got to find a better balance. And we got to do it with hope and love. Okay? I don't want anybody out there to suffer. There's no reason for it. We have the resources. We have the technology. We need to just come together. No pun intended. But if we come together and we get the shit done, then baby, we can really then come together. And I'm going to leave it on that again. I'm going to close out tonight with, again, a track that was inspired and influenced by dynamics of blues and jazz. It's a track that we did called View Below with some incredible photography by a friend of ours, Rick Garrity. And it's reflective of the dynamics underneath us. And I think it also is reflective, of some of what I've been trying to talk to, some of what I'm hoping that we can find within all of us again, is that the things beneath us, or that sometimes that we feel are beneath us, are incredibly powerful. And we do it in injustice when we dismiss it, when we look down on it. And, Egypt found this out, Rome found this out, every fucking civilization has found this out. When you tread on the backs of the people who pick up the garbage and make your food, and, the nurses and the firefighters, and everybody that keeps the whole fucking thing working, when you push down too hard on it, they just say, fuck it. And then you're not going to have shit. Okay? And just like every other time, we'll rebuild it. And we'll rebuild it better. We'll rebuild it stronger, having learned the painful lessons that we always seem to have to do. But hey, that's how we learn. Maybe that's part of the plan. I don't know. I'll do my part. But know that you are loved. Try and love as best as you can. And until next time, check out The View Below.
Towards the edge, there's a tension ever growing in the air. A child drags the blanket through She hides her eyes from the gleam of the sun, but we say, as below, so above, it shall be. The so-called trickle down the piss of royalty. A world of stone and rock, the pain within our feet. Over the empty seas, to most certainly his grave. In his wallet, a wrinkled photograph of family's embrace. By decree of a crown, to war for naught but vain. They send the desperate poor to die, but we say, as above, so below, it will be. Tower of reflective glass, the view below their feet. We see ourselves while looking in, but inside can't be seen. The old proverb speaks true. Something about homes of glass and throwing stones. Well, the rocks have been just streaming down from the top of the palace walls. Wouldn't it be just a shame if we returned him home?